This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king. The paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, the creator of Business Boutique and all things Christy Wright, is my co-host today as we take your calls about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Speaking of Business Boutique, you were saying right before we went on the air that popped up on your phone, there's 5 years ago today that the book was in launch mode. You were in your first week of launch.
Yeah, it was launch week. We were in Nashville for the signing. It was one of those memories that came up on my phone. It's hard to believe 5 years ago the book came out, but it's incredible too, because this book continues to sell. You see this, and it continues to help people. It's the plan to help them get their business idea off the ground and grow it. So
equipping women to make money doing what they love.
Yep.
I can't believe we've been saying that 5 years. It seems like it's 20 minutes. Of course, the book launched as a #1 bestseller, and it's all about equipping women to make money doing what they love. To go with that, around that same time, I guess maybe in the months following that, we launched Business Boutique Academy, which is all about Christy teaching ladies how to start and how to run a business.
Yeah, so this is really just our coaching model, because it came out of our first event in 2015. We had these amazing success stories, but women would come home from the event and they're fired up, but then they're thinking, oh, well, I ran into something I didn't know how to deal with, or I lost motivation, or I got discouraged a few months later. And I thought, I want to walk with them over time in their business. I want to help them have the motivation, but also the advice and tools and steps they need to take. And so we launched the Academy back in 2016, and it has been incredible. I've had women that joined in 2016 that have stayed with me, and you have some that have been joining since then, but it's a 6-month coaching period.
And this is not a private Facebook group where we just sit around and talk. This is you actually teach them to freaking do stuff, and they go freaking do it.
Yeah, we have this
is serious business.
It is, and it's interesting too, because it doesn't matter what type of business you're in. You're all in business. I have the most common question I am asked, Dave, is, but what about this type of business? But what about a salon? But what about fitness coaching? But what about multi-level marketing, nonprofit, for-profit? You're all in business, and that's what I specialize in. I want to teach you the business principles that you take and apply to your specific business to help you win. And so we only open twice a year. We're open right now. We opened yesterday. We closed Thursday night. And what we do is we have an open enrollment where new members can come in and join. And then I walk with them for the next 6 months in their business to help them chase their goals, their dreams, figure out what their version of success is, and then give them the tools to get there.
And that keeps you in the class. If you're a freshman or you're a sophomore or you're a senior, there's not people joining every day and leaving every day.
Right, exactly.
They're in there together. And the community's part of the aspect of it.
It is. There's such power. I actually put them in buddies, and so it makes the big group feel smaller. And then I give them weekly emails and curriculum on what you're going to discuss with your buddy, what you're going to work on in your business. And we're all on the same track, focusing on the same things together. We do something really cool, Dave, that I actually started last year out of COVID. And, we were all pivoting, trying to figure out how to make it work with COVID. One of the things that we came up with is a $250 challenge. So the cost of your membership is $244. So I came up with a $250 challenge, and I challenge them to make $250 in 7 days. And I give them a whole list of ways to do this. Mm-hmm. We all rally. The community gets a lot of it, gets so excited. You have people posting the Facebook group. And what's so cool is they do this. The majority of them do this, and they've made their membership fee back in 7 days. Yeah. And you've made ROI in the first 7 days. So it's a really powerful community. But it's amazing to see how when women get the help they need, when anyone gets the help that they need, they really can do this thing. They think, I'm not business minded. I'm not cut out for this. No, you are. You just need help, like we all do in any area of our lives that we need help with.
I don't think a 4-year-old gets up and goes, I'm not bicycle minded.
Right. I wasn't cut out for this.
You're still going to have to learn to ride it, baby.
Right.
That's how it works. Right. Enrollment for the Academy is open, as Christy said, through Thursday night, April the 22nd. Just about 24 more hours, 48 more hours. And it's only open twice a year, so you don't want to miss your opportunity to get in on this training, the tools, and the support. And it's odd that it's coming up on the week that is the anniversary of the launch of the book. So join the Academy at RamseySolutions.com/Academy. and you can become a part of this incredible community of women who are making money doing what they love. That's so important. The book is also on sale right now, among our other books, on a $10 special at RamseySolutions.com/store. So Total Money Makeover, Business Boutique, Rachel's books, Ken's books, virtually all of our best-selling books are in there on sale right now with a $10 sale at RamseySolutions.com. So be sure and check that out as well. But the Academy open through Thursday night, April the 22nd. It shuts off at what time Thursday night?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Thursday night. And again, RamseySolutions.com/academy, and you'll get the help from Christy, the one-on-one coaching, the community, the challenges, everything you need to do to get moving and get started in that business, or take your existing business and move it to a different level. And it's a very unique community, and it's all about changing everything. The Ramsey Baby Steps community, Kim Little, our manager of that community, said if you want to be part of like-minded people, jump in on our Facebook group. It's called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community, and it's massive. I mean, several 100,000 people in there. Juliana says, I'm a single mom that's blessed to have my mom able to help me with my kids. I'm in baby step 2. It seems like it's going slow. I want to get a second job. My mom is supportive, but I don't know how to balance my 2 kids that actually need my help. I know I need to get out of debt, but I'm torn.
Yeah, this is one of those things that a schedule is your friend, because if you're waiting until you have time left over to put money to work on a second job or start a side business from home or whatever that is, there's never time left over, and there's certainly never time left over when you have young kids. And so I think that it can be in your favor to come up with a schedule, whether it's nap times, weekends, what is maybe it's from 7 to 10 p.m. you bust it and try to get creative with working from home or freelancing or that type of thing with some flexibility. But the reality is you have to have some type of schedule and structure. Otherwise, you're going to always feel like you're coming from behind. And so what is realistic, but also a stretch goal to help you do what you want to do to maybe speed this up and get extra money, but also realistic.
All work is not profitable. So you need to actually be doing something that makes money.
Yeah.
I mean, would I take a retail job and be away from my kids for minimum wage? No.
Right.
No, you need to be doing something that's 2-3 times what minimum wage is, whether you're running your own gig, doing something on the side. I don't care what it is you're doing, but figure out something that's going to pay really well,
Yeah.
number one. Number two, then map it out and go, okay, this is only for 2 years, or this is only for 18 months, or it's 19 months, and then I'll be out, and then I can go back to a regular schedule. So if it pays really good, and it's only for a reasonable period of time, you can lock it in. That'll give you the energy to do it. And the third piece of advice I've got is work while everybody else is asleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do your 4 a.m. reps.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do? What can you write? What can you what orders can you fill on eBay at 4 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
What questions can you answer? How can you work when others sleep? Because those kiddos aren't there, and the amount of time people spend that's supposed to be spent with their kids in front of the stupid television, you can just take that out. You just throw a brick through your TV, you find all kinds of hours. All kinds of hours in your life. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Marcy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Carly's in Buffalo, New York. Hey, Carly, how are you?
I'm well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my husband and I recently, he was in an accident in September. We recently received a settlement of $100,000.
Wow.
And
Is he
we're
okay?
just not. Yes, actually, like he is nearly fully recovered. So we got really lucky on that one.
Wow. Sounds like it's a bad accident.
It was a very bad accident. He broke his leg, surgery, all of those.
And all those bills have been paid?
Yeah, it was covered, yeah.
Okay. So in addition, you got $100,000 clear, and he's okay now?
Yes.
Okay,
He's
I'm
back
with
to
you.
work March 1st.
All right.
And we're just not sure what to do with it. I know there's worse problems to have, but this feels kind of burdensome. Like, I don't want to mess it up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
Yeah.
And so we don't know. I don't know, like real estate or what to do.
I understand. Yeah, you want to be careful with it and wise. Well, we would apply it wherever you are on the baby steps. So let's walk through that a little bit. Do you have any debt other than your home?
No home
Good.
debt either.
And no home debt. Okay, so you're completely out of debt, house and everything. What's your household income?
About 33 a year, 33,000.
Okay, and do you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses?
Yeah.
Good.
It's closer to 9 months.
Good. Well, you're in really good shape. You've done
it was lucky to have that when he got hurt.
I bet. Yeah, you've done a great job. You're in great shape. Congratulations. Well, yes, you could buy a piece of real estate if you want to buy that and pay cash for it. Might be pushing it to find a $100,000 property in Buffalo. I don't know.
Things are going pretty high at this point.
Maybe you could, but I would not want you to go into debt for a rental property. I think that'd be a bad plan. And so if I'm in your shoes, then that's going to put me in mutual funds probably. And so, and you need to take your time and understand that investment and, move through the process of learning on that before you actually make the decision. A good way to do that is to connect with one of our SmartVestor pros. Click SmartVestor at DaveRamsey.com, all right, RamseySolutions.com. Click SmartVestor. Too many changes for me to remember all this crap.
No, it's a lot.
And, and anyway, so yeah, RamseySolutions.com, click SmartVestor, and it'll drop down a list of the SmartVestor pros in your area that you can connect with. Sit down. In order for them to get our endorsement, they have to have the heart of a teacher. They have to be willing and able to sit down and teach you, because you should not put money in something you don't understand. And so, when you're doing something new like investing, it's intimidating.
Yeah, that's why you need someone that knows that specifically. And I think some people feel like, oh, I'm supposed to know this. No, even inside this building, we use investment professionals for our investments because they are experts. That's what they do all day, every day. But to your point, you want to go to someone that is trustworthy, that's in line with what we teach, because if not, they could explain things in a way that you don't understand and you end up making some mistakes. So you want to go to someone you trust.
Yeah, I just sat down and spent an hour with our tax professional that handles the Ramsey family, tax bill and all the stuff. And there's no way I'm going to understand freaking 10 billion words that the IRS wrote and know them all. That's his job. Yeah. But I do need to understand enough of it that when I put my signature at the bottom of that return, that I know what it's saying.
Right.
I may not know every little nuance and every little thing perfectly, but I need to get the gist of what we're doing so that I'm not just blindly signing things and not looking at them.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the same with investing. It's the same with doing your will. These are things that you don't have to be, you can put an expert in your corner, but even somebody working on your car, they come in and go, well, it's going to be $1,800 to fix the Jimmy Gag. And I'm, what the flip's a Jimmy Gag? You're going to have to tell me what the Spark-O-Mana flaps are. I mean, I'm going to have to get a figure out.
Start over, please.
$1,800, you just got my attention. So now I want to know what the flip's going on here. And so, you have to be taught, and you don't blindly trust anyone, not
Right.
because we're cynical,
Right.
but because it's our job to be responsible for our decisions. Where you get screwed on anything, from car repairs to investing to anything else, it's when you don't understand what you're doing and you just went, oh, that's my guy. He takes care of me. It's my guy.
Or or you feel like you're going to look stupid if you ask questions. Like, this is your money. It's $100,000 or whatever you're doing. It's your car. It's $1,800. Ask the question. Say, well, now, what does that word mean? Matt and I just sat down with our investment guy a few months ago to kind of do a reset on where we're going, what we're doing. And there were several things he said that I go, what does that word mean? I don't even know what that word, and he explained it to me. I was like, okay, so don't be scared to ask questions. This is your money that you're investing. You can ask those questions, and really good people will answer them in a way you can understand.
An attorney a few years ago, we were working on not litigation, but on just a contractual situation, and he's like, because I said so, and I went, hey, dude, you just got really confused.
Let
me help you with this.
No.
You work for me, and I'm getting ready to fire your butt. Try again. Oh, my God. Because I said so. What do you think you are, my dad?
He doesn't know you. He didn't know not to say that. Bless his heart.
Yeah, right. Well, he knows now. Irene is in San Antonio. Hey, Irene, what's up?
Good afternoon, Mr. Ramsey. Thank you so very much for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can we help?
I've been listening to you for about 5 years now, and I followed all your steps. So I have totally eliminated all my credit card debt. I've eliminated all my student loan debt. I have 2 vehicles. I have absolutely no car payment. I have $105,000 left on my home. And my question is, I want to go back to school to pursue my PhD, and I was wondering if that's a wise thing for me to do. The reason why I want to do that is because I've become absolutely passionate about my field of mental health, and so I want to teach on a university level.
Very cool.
That's awesome. First of all, congratulations.
Way to go.
Yeah, paying off all that debt, that's amazing.
Yeah, way to go.
Thank you. I followed each and every step of Mr. Ramsey, and it completely transformed my life over the past 5 years.
You're amazing.
That's awesome.
So you're paying cash for the PhD.
Well, what I'm going to do is I still have $40,000 left over in grant money that I can put towards my education, and then I'm going to take the rest of it out of my savings to pay off the rest. So not that much, but I have enough to cover it, so I'm not going back into debt ever.
Good. And you're not dipping into the emergency fund to do this?
No, absolutely not. I have plenty left over.
Okay,
I actually
making sure I understand what we're talking about. It's okay. It's
Yes,
okay.
Sir. Yes,
I'm just
sir.
making sure I understand. So you're going to pay
Yes, sir.
cash for a PhD with the grant and the excess savings, and it's what you want to do. Well, why wouldn't you do it?
Because I couldn't find it anywhere in your book.
Why didn't you write a chapter on that? That's your fault.
Yeah, I don't write a lot about PhDs. The only one I've got's in DUMB. So, but
So I was like, I'm going to call because now I've done all the steps basically, and I just need to ask him.
Education's not really one of the steps other than pay cash for it. For your kids' education in baby step 5, and in any purchases you want to do, we're paying cash for it. And this is not a luxury, it's career advancement. You're going to move into a whole new phase of your life, and you've positioned yourself to do it. This is fabulous.
You want to do it, you have the money for it, and it's moving you in the direction of where you want to go. That checks all the boxes for me, Irene. You got it. That's
Touchdown.
awesome. You got it.
Touchdown.
Well,
Score.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Awesome.
I appreciate your asking our permission, but I think you're all right,
You
kiddo.
don't need it. That's right.
Yeah, you're a rock star. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, that's and that is one. If you're going to teach at the university level, then that is permission to play. That's
you gotta have it.
That's table stakes.
That's right. Yeah.
You got to have that to teach at that level, and it's a wonderful field too.
Yeah.
I mean, we got John Deloney around here, and he's got 2 PhDs. He's fairly normal. Most days. Some days, not so much.
Questionable.
But most days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep him fairly much in line. James and Kelly do on his podcast, but it's a full-time job. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Steve is with us in York, Pennsylvania. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
The company I work for was bought recently, and the pension I worked on for 12 years, or that I was given for being there for 12 years, they offered me 3 options. One was to do a lump sum, or 2 to get a really small payment starting like next month, or 3 was to wait till I'm 65.
Lump sum.
I just wanted to see what maybe you would choose.
Lump sum. So no brainer.
Yeah.
And you roll it, direct
Okay.
transfer rollover into an IRA, and there's no taxes on it.
Okay.
How much money is it?
23,500.
Okay. So let me tell you what happens if you die. No, not if you die. When you die. That pension gives you 0. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You die with $23,000 in your IRA. You know what your estate has? $23,000.
Okay.
And you can invest it where it will grow faster and better than it will inside that pension by putting it in good mutual funds. So you're better while you're alive and you're better while you die, when you die. And so this is like what's known as a no-brainer. You do this immediately. Always take the lump sum pension when you can and run!
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, makes total sense.
Okay. Thanks for the call, brother. Open phones at 888-825-5225. The old pensions are just about dead.
Yeah. We don't get a ton of calls about that, but that's interesting because I didn't know that when you die you don't get it in a pension. I didn't know that.
Nothing
Is that
else.
any business?
Any pension.
Any pension.
Not
yeah.
401k.
Yeah.
401k is yours. You own it. The pension's actually an asset of the company. It's not an asset of yours.
I didn't realize
401k is your asset.
Yeah.
And so if the company goes broke, you can lose your pension. And technically speaking. And you can't lose your 401k if your company goes broke.
But if you work for a company that offers pension, do you take it?
You don't have a choice. It's just
You have to.
get
Oh,
it. You
gotcha.
just get it.
Okay.
But most companies, like 78% of them, have done away with pensions. There's just a few, mainly bigger ones.
It's an old school thing.
And some old governmental agencies and things, unions, that kind of stuff. It's mainly things that just haven't kept up, is what it amounts to, that are still doing pensions, because the 401k is much more advantageous to the user.
Sure. So isn't this back in the same kind of time frame when, people worked at the same company for 40 years, got a gold watch and a retirement party, and that was
and your pension built up over time. And the thing about the pension is you don't put anything into it.
Okay.
They put into it. You don't put anything into it. So it doesn't, quote, cost you anything. But what it can cost you is your future by counting on it and not having other side things to do. Stephanie's in Rochester, New York. Hi, Stephanie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, my husband and I are trying to decide if we should purchase a used vehicle or if we should keep a vehicle that needs to be repaired.
What baby step are you in?
We're in baby step 2.
Okay. Why would you? Wait a minute. What's the repair?
It's like a muffler issue, but it's like leaking fumes into the car, and they said it's going to cost about $800.
What's the car worth?
I think it's about maybe like $2,500. With
Who
needing the
told
repair.
you it was going to take $800 to fix a muffler?
It's the repair shop.
I know. Just an independent repair shop or a muffler shop or the dealer?
It's an independent like car repair shop.
Have you gotten other quotes?
No.
Okay, that's the first clue. You always get more than one quote when something seems weird, because this sounds a little weird.
That sounds super expensive for a muffler issue, and I don't know cars, Stephanie, at all, but that just sounds expensive.
Yeah.
I thought so too, but I mean, I might be missing part of it.
You could be, and we could be too, but it's worth checking on further because it could be $400, which changes the conversation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You wouldn't even been calling us. You'd have fixed a car.
Yeah.
$800 puts it on the bubble. So how much do you have in savings?
We have $5,000 right now, and we're expecting to get about $2,500 back from our taxes. And I've kind of been nervous about putting that toward our debt because of our cars and not knowing, because they're both kind of older, higher mileage cars. And I was thinking, within the next year or so, we might need to replace them, but I don't know if it's smart to just hold on to that money in case something happens to the car, or just not worry about it, pay down the debt, and then,
Well, you're working your plan.
If something happens.
If you're working our plan,
I know.
You apply the money towards the debt.
Yeah.
And
Even if your car is like possibly going to be breaking down.
Honey, cars are all possibly going to be breaking down. Every one of them. Every car in this parking lot is possibly breaking down at any moment.
How much debt do you have?
$10,750.
And what's your household income?
About $42,000.
So, I mean, with the money that you have and the money that you're expecting to get,
you could be
debt-free soon.
Yeah.
If you quit holding on to your muffler money. I don't want you to die from carbon monoxide poisoning, so I do want you to get this fixed and get some more bids on it and find out how dangerous it is, or does it just stink, and so on. And, so when we were going broke, we were coming out of going broke and trying to dig our way out, doing what you're doing, and we were so broke we couldn't pay attention, and we were scared just like you are. I was driving a car that the transmission main seal busted on it. Now, let me tell you what that means. That means the transmission fluid leaks out of the transmission. You know where it goes? Onto the muffler. And you know what it does? It smokes like a James Bond car or something. It's put out a smoke screen behind me. It looked like a movie. And I had to put transmission fluid in the thing almost every 3 days just to keep it running. But I just kept pouring transmission fluid in it and smoking up the neighbors. And finally we got the other side of it, and I got the money to fix the stupid car after I got the debts cleaned up. And but I limped through because I had to change my direction, and that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to do something that's dangerous. The car I was driving wasn't dangerous; it just stunk. But and the neighbors thought it's funny, and it's a funny story now. It wasn't funny then; it was embarrassing as crap. But I did drive that old beat up thing, and I got through. And now I drive whatever the flip I want to drive because I've got the money now. And the reason I got the money is I didn't keep falling back into the same trap.
My 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee, Dave, it
Piece
smelled
of crap.
like a go-kart. It smelled.
Well, you probably hauled goats around in it because you had goats.
I actually did, but that's
did
not what
stunk. Did it smell like goats?
No, it stunk like that oil smell, like a go-kart. Like if you were at the go-kart races. I prayed that thing back to life more times than I can count. Like prayed it back to life.
Cars don't have a soul. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. You cannot lay hands on Lazarus the Jeep.
Well, the Jeep came back to life. You take that up with God himself. That Jeep came back to life when I prayed. But you're right. It's like it's embarrassing for a season, and then you get through that season. And she's not even that far. I mean, we're talking 7,500. Right, she's so close.
Yeah, she's $7,500 out of 10,000, and just boom, you're going to be right there.
Right there.
So that we could see this, but you're going to have to change your focus on what do you believe in? What do you believe is going to take you to the next 5 years? Keeping this money in the account, limping along with these old cars and limping out of debt, or busting through, kiddo? Our suggestion is bust through. You're going to make a decision now. What do you believe in? And all of us, let me tell you, for a whole bunch of us, a whole bunch of you listening that are out of debt and have become everyday millionaires, me and Christy, we've all driven that crappy car that was so crappy that you had to give it a name. Old Blue, Bertha, whatever her name was. I don't know why they get female
And
names.
it's not the Dave card.
Nobody names it George.
Take it easy.
They always give them negative female names. Henrietta, I don't know. But you got to give them a name. That, and if you hadn't been through that, then you don't know what that poor lady's facing. But we're with you, Stephanie. You can do this. This is The Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. Dawn is in Indianapolis. Hi, Dawn. How are you?
I'm blessed, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you. How can we help?
I called because my 4 children just inherited $187,000 each from a life insurance policy that I took out on their dad when I was married to him 13 years ago. And I need to thank you, Dave, because we feel so blessed today that I did what you said in the financial peace class that I took back then. We put policies in place, and their dad just died a month ago.
Oh.
And now my kids have this money in hand from the life insurance company. It's a lot of money per kid, and we want to know how you would advise them. What should they do with it? They're only 25 years old, 20, 18, and 16, and you can only put like a $6,000 in a Roth every year. So we're here to ask you your advice, and we want to just thank you. You've blessed us.
I'm sorry for your loss, all of you. So it was your ex, right?
Yeah, we did divorce 8 years ago, but
Okay.
13 years ago when we were together,
Right.
we did this.
Right. That's what I thought I understood you to say. Okay. Well, I think different age kids will have different needs. A 16-year-old has a different need than a 30-year-old. The 30-year-old, we're just going to apply it on the baby steps wherever they are.
Okay.
So if they have any debt, you apply it to debt. If they don't have any debt, make sure the emergency fund's in place. 15% of your income going towards retirement. Kids' college is 5%, and 6% is pay off the house. So we roll that money up that list until it runs out.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And really, I would do that. You said 16 was the youngest, and there was an 18?
25 maybe?
It was 25, 20, 18, and 16.
So what's the
And
20-year-old
16-year-old,
doing?
The 20-year-old, what is he doing? Well, yeah. We don't know yet, other than I've advised them that they need to set a big
what's his
chunk on
life?
the
What's
side
he
for
doing with
retirement.
his life?
Oh.
Is he in school?
spent
Is he working?
He spent the past year and a half taking care of his sick dad, so now he has to find his life.
Oh,
He does have
goodness.
a 2-year degree, but yeah, he's been taking care of his dad while he was terminally ill. So
Okay. Well, I would put him and the 16-year-old, make sure they're reading through Ken Coleman's stuff on career and Christie's stuff, and, just get a handle on who they are. And so some of this money, there's a probability will be used for education. As a matter of fact, I might park it all just to the side in something really simple for the 2 youngest ones until we ascertain what educational needs they have. And so if 16-year-old says, I want to go to college, I want to go to a 4-year school, then we make sure that the 4-year school, room, board, books, tuition is under $187,000 for 4 years. Otherwise, you pick the wrong school.
sure.
Okay. And
Yeah, they're community college kids.
Yeah. And, get the first 2 years out of the way and then go move and take 2 more years at the in-state university, and he'll have some money left over. But I would just make sure we use this money to get them the education to start their lives. The other older ones have already started their lives, and you just apply it to the baby steps, I think. Do you see something else?
Yeah, I was just wondering, Dave, when you're going through that type of a loss for these kids, they've lost their dad, is there any type of waiting period? It may be different because they're kids, or even if someone's older. Is there any kind of waiting period? So like, let's not decide to do anything with it for a period until a little bit of the initial grieving is over, where it's like, I don't know. Can you think clearly when you lost your dad a month ago, you know?
Well, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's good to park it for a little while and let it sit. The 16 and 18-year-old are going to have to let it sit anyway.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to make some decisions that are going to take more than 30 seconds. I mean, you're going to have to sit down and think about what you want to do, what studies are involved in what it is you want to do, where you're going to get your education, and then you map out what that's going to cost and begin to apply the 187 towards that. As far as the baby steps goes, before you start paying off, but I mean, I don't know that a 30-year-old losing their dad can't decide to pay off their car with his money.
25's the oldest, right, Dawn?
No.
Yeah, she's 25.
25's the oldest.
Okay.
So even that, I'm like, so is she married or kids or?
She is married, and they just had their first baby 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that one's.
Yeah, they probably have a pretty traditional set of baby steps to walk, right?
And I probably can't give them much advice because they're married, right?
Yeah.
They do what they want, right?
Well, it's completely up to them. But if they were to call me and ask me, what I would tell them to do would be to work up the baby steps. In other words, pay off your debts, make sure you have an emergency fund in place, make sure you got 15% going into retirement, make sure the new baby has a college fund, and then pay off your house. Do they own a house?
They do.
Okay. Yeah, and I suspect that those steps will use up 187.
Okay. What about, so the 18-year-old, college is already taken care of. So she wants to know what to do with it besides put some in a Roth.
How's her college taken care of?
We've already fully funded that, and she's got 3 years left. It's fully funded.
Room and board and everything?
Yeah, I mean, she drives back and forth to school. It's a 4-year school, and she drives. She lives at home with me still.
Okay, all right. That you do not have to get fancy. What I would do is keep it very simple and very calm until you get out of school. And to Christy's point, let's not try to be professional investors at 18 years old when you just lost your dad. So you don't have to. Okay. You haven't done something wrong if you don't suddenly become a highly seasoned professional investing person. So if she wants to sit down in the next few weeks as your all's brains start to, some of the fog of grief starts to clear, if she wants to sit down with a SmartVestor Pro and begin to look at what she could do with investing, that's fine. But when she finishes school, the 16-year-old finishes school with whatever money is invested, whatever money's left over, that's probably going to set up their adult life really well. They might pay cash for a house in Indianapolis for that, if they're careful, or they might, move to another city, or they might do a lot of different things. It gives them some flexibility. It's not $1.8 million; it's 187, and that's a lot of money in one way. But in another way, you can kind of go, woo, like it's all over. It's not over. This just gives you a boost. Mm-hmm. This is not the rocket. It's a booster shot.
But for those younger ones, especially the ones that don't own homes yet, I mean, you make a great point, because that could buy them a house in cash out of the gate. They never have a mortgage. They are completely set up for the rest of their lives. They never owe debt of any kind, and that would drastically change their financial lives if they started on that foot.
That would be a great legacy for for their dad. Mm-hmm. That the dad literally, with this life insurance money, changed the family tree. Mm-hmm. What a cool, what a cool side note to a horrible situation. Yeah. And that's what life insurance always is. It's always a cool side note to a horrible situation. Yeah. We had a young lady out of South Carolina that we videoed for some of the financial peace classes that, had a brand new baby, and they're in their 20s, mm-hmm. and it was just a freak thing. He just had a stroke or something and just died. Mm-hmm. I mean, but they had, he had $1 bazillion in life insurance, yeah. And it, obviously it's a young mother that had lost her husband is horrible, yeah. And this baby never really knew his dad, mm-hmm. And it was a horrible, horrible thing. But the good side note is that she never has to work.
Well, I'm curious about this life insurance topic. What do you think keeps people from getting it? Is it fear of talking about such a horrible thing like death? Is it just they're too busy, they never get around to it? Like, it's not a fun thing to talk about. We can all acknowledge that. Yeah. But in a situation like this, it's one of those things that, like, you have to have it.
Well, it's in the category of smart things to do that give you no immediate feedback.
Yeah.
And, if I'm doing something, retirement. Why don't people save for retirement? Why don't they save for the kids' college? Because it's 20 years off.
Right.
And, thank God it's Friday. Oh, God, it's Monday.
Right.
And people have short-term vision windows,
Yeah.
and so they don't have any vision, in other words. And where there is no vision, the people perish. And so when you look out in the future and you see, this is what's coming and I got to get ready for it, that's called maturity.
Yeah.
But we have a vastly immature culture. And so, yeah, you need wills, you need life insurance, you need retirement planning, you need kids' college. But these delayed pleasure things are all, they're all a sign of maturity. That's what it amounts to. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Christy Wright, Ramsey personality, is here to do this show because apparently I can't. And so we're here. She's here to co-host with me, and I'm going to stumble through, and we're going to pull this off. And we're here to help you with your life and with your money. It's what we do. The phone number is free, and some say the advice is worth what you pay for it. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Steve's with us in Nashville. Hey, Steve, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you so very much for taking my call, sir.
My pleasure. How can I help?
And good evening also to Christy.
Thanks. What's going on?
Dave, I am currently, me, my wife, my mother, and my son are on a level term insurance policy. You were talking about life insurance a while ago, and this fits into it. But currently, my agent wants a couple of us to switch over to a whole life.
I bet he does.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you why. First of all, my mother she's insured permanently because of her age. When I fixed her up on a level term, she went through the 2-year probation time, and she's fine. My son is 30 years old. They want him to swap over. And, of course, I'm 57. They want me to. My wife is on a 10-year level term, her age. She's 66. Mm-hmm. And they're telling me it's going to be very difficult for her to get rewritten when hers expires in 5 years. Mm-hmm.
How's your money situation?
I'm okay.
What's that
mean?
I'm
certainly not self-insured, Dave.
Okay. How you're in your 50s? Do you have how much nest egg do you have?
About 50.
Okay. And how much debt do you have?
I do have some debt. My home mostly. It's about 60 owing.
Not much. Okay, that's good. And what are you doing towards retirement from this point forward?
I'm not at this point. I've not actually got a retirement plan in place.
Okay. Well, obviously you're going to need to do that, right?
Okay. Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. And does your wife work outside the home?
No, sir. She's disabled.
And what do you make?
Around $50 a year.
Okay. So the purpose of life insurance is to make sure that the people left behind who are counting on the person's income are taken care of.
Correct.
If, God forbid, your wife were to pass away, mathematically, you would be just fine. Right? Because you're not dependent upon her.
Correct.
To financially move forward. Now, I'm not talking about your heart wouldn't be broken. I'm not talking about we wouldn't cry. I'm not talking about those kinds of things, okay? I'm just saying mathematically. And this is the discussion of life insurance, is the math part. Okay? And so if we cancel her life insurance when it goes up, it's not that big a deal.
Okay.
So I wouldn't continue to buy life insurance on her once it goes up. So if her term runs out, or you said she had a 10-year term, when that runs out, I would just drop it. You see why?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, in your case, you're going to need life insurance to take care of her until you get this nest egg built. You're 57. You're out of debt except your home. Time to get with saving some money, investing some money pretty aggressively for the next 10 years or so, right?
Yes, sir.
And let's pretend that you had $300,000 in your investments and you get your house paid off 10 years from today. And that's all very possible if you start concentrating. Would you agree with me?
Agree.
Okay. And you die. She has $300,000 a paid-for house and no kids at home. I think she'll be okay.
Yes, sir.
So we're working towards self-insurance. And in the meantime, we prop it up with life insurance. You follow the concept?
Yes, sir.
See, the only thing whole life is good for is to make sure your agent gets a commission through your whole life. That's what it's for.
That's why he's trying to encourage me to do that.
The premiums are 10 times to 20 times more expensive for the same amount of life insurance.
Okay.
But it's all based on the premise that you're not going to do anything to get yourself ready to not need life insurance. Okay? So we took care of you two. Now let's talk about Mom. How old's Mom?
Mom is about 85.
And anybody depending on her income to eat?
No, there's not.
Okay. So why is it she's got life insurance?
It's just back when I lost Dad, Dave, he did not have insurance, and it was a little difficult on the family to take care of all the arrangements.
Yeah. Does your mom have any money?
She's not really.
She got $20,000?
No, sir. No, sir. She's on a fixed income.
Okay. So she doesn't have any money.
She lives with my family, not me, but with my other family.
Okay. So we need enough to bury her.
Yes, sir.
But that's all we really need.
That's what I have on her.
Okay. Oh, so you have a very small policy on her. And it's term?
It is term, Dave. And what we started with her, remember, she has some underlying issues, and they wanted to go with the 2-year probation. I started with her, and that elapsed, and he told me just the other day, I met with him, he said she's insured for life because, I'm assuming, because of her age.
That's strange. Okay.
Really?
Well, it's probably not that expensive a policy, though, because it's not covering but $10,000 or $20,000, right?
It's really not, Dave. It's not that expensive.
So it's not an issue. So we got 3 of the 4 done. Now your son is 30, and what he needs to do is work the baby steps, get out of debt, have an emergency fund, and 20 years from today, not need insurance because he paid off his house in 15 years, and because he's got $700,000, $800,000 in his 401k, and his kids are grown and gone 20 years from today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He needs a 20-year level term, and he doesn't need to use your guy because your guy's a whole life guy. You guys are paying too much for the stinking term. But it's probably too expensive for you to move now, but it's not for your son. He needs to go to xanderinsurance.com and get a quote, and he'll probably find his term insurance is half what you guys are paying for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm not allowed to tell you who he's insured with.
I don't care. Who's he with?
Farm Bureau.
Okay. Farm Bureau is a wonderful company for car insurance and homeowners insurance.
Yes, right.
Their term prices are absolutely ludicrous.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're great people. I got friends that work there. I mean, I really like the company, but you don't buy life insurance there. It's not. They're really good though for car insurance term. Their car insurance service. I've been hit by people that had Farm Bureau, and they take care of the car. I mean, they're wonderful,
Yes.
And I'm a fan of the company, but don't buy term there. No, it's a bad idea. Don't buy any life insurance there. It's just too expensive because they're not really designed to be in that business. That's like something they added onto their catalog later, and they thought, well, we can make a lot of money doing this. And your guy's not a bad guy. He's just trained by those whole life guys, and so he just doesn't know what the flip he's doing, and that's in this particular subject. So you got to stay away from people pushing cash value. Nobody believes in this whole life stuff except people that sell it. Everybody else in the financial world knows and understands and says, no way. This is The Ramsey Show. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. 5 years ago this week, she launched a book that was #1 called Business Boutique, Equipping Women to Make Money Doing What They Love. The follow-up to that is the Business Boutique Academy that helps you build your business, build your side hustle, start a business, and it's for equipping women to make money doing what they love. We only allow you to join the Academy twice a year. It's closed enrollment because we want everybody to be in groups that have the same experience as they go through. So enrollment is open right now for a limited time until Thursday evening, this coming Thursday, April the 22nd. So don't miss your opportunity to get in on the training. You can join the Academy at ramseysolutions.com/academy. Now, the other thing we want you to know is we've got the Ramsey Solutions website up now. So ramseysolutions.com is now your destination site for all things Ramsey, and that includes all things Christy Wright, John Deloney, Rachel Cruz, Anthony O'Neill, and whoever I'm leaving out. Ken Coleman. I can't remember who all.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, that's it. That's good. You're going to carry this. I knew you were. Good-looking site. The site is much more, it's much easier to navigate and find what you're looking for. You don't have to go on a wild goose chase all the time. A ton of great resources, a ton of tools there, a ton of free articles on just about every subject where it comes to transforming your life. Go to ramseysolutions.com and check out the new site. It has been launched for about a month, and it is all the feedback has been positive. No one went, where'd DaveRamsey.com go? Because nobody cared. But me!
Except you. Where'd my name go?
Where's my name? Not really. All right, Alicia's in Decatur, Indiana. Hi, Alicia. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Christy.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call. My husband and I are having kind of a dilemma on what to do with an inherited IRA. A little backstory is we've been date-ish for quite a while, and at the beginning of November, we decided that we were going to go full in and, pay off all of our debt so we had some more freedom. Well, since then, we paid off $28,000 worth of debt.
Good.
And the only thanks. The only thing we have left is my student loan debt.
Good.
So it's right around $41,000.
And how much was the inherited IRA?
$88,000 is what it's sitting
Yes,
at.
pay off your student loan out of that. You're gonna have to cash out the inherited IRA over the period of the next few years anyway. That's the law, and you're gonna pay taxes on it as it comes out, no penalties, and you might as well pay your taxes now and be debt free.
Yeah, it's just a security blanket for me, I guess.
It's not a security blanket. You have a student loan debt.
Yeah, that's true.
You have a security blanket with an axe hanging over your head.
That's true. Probably makes sense.
So it's not very secure. No.
No, it's not.
And be debt free. listen, here's the thing. When you got all geared up and you paid off $28,000 since November, the reason you did that was you came to believe that the shortest distance between where you are and wealth and financial stability is to get your butt out of debt, right?
True.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. Just stay the course, take the hit, and
Not because Dave.
It's not a hit. It's not a hit. It's an advancement. When you see it as a hit, you feel like you're losing money. You're taking that money and you're applying it to the debt. This is a move forward. See, we gotta reframe that in your mind. When you see that as a hit, it feels hard to do.
Let me give you an example on this. You took the hit when you took out the student loan. When you pay it off, you admit it.
Yeah.
When you buy a car that's $30,000, when you
them.
buy a car that's $30,000 and it goes down to $20,000, and you sell it, people say, "Oh, I took the hit." No. You already got the hit. You already lost $10,000. When you sell the car, you just admit it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the reality. It just makes you face the emotions of this student loan was a stupid butt idea. Well, that's okay. We've all done stupid butt stuff. I made a living doing it, kiddo.
All right.
You're going to be all right. You're doing good. I'm proud of you.
You know what? The interesting term she used, security blanket, made me think of that call in the last hour where they had $7,500, had a debt of $10,000, but didn't want to pay it off because it was that same concept of like, this makes me feel safe because I have this money here.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, and it's like the idea that is keeping you safe and it's somehow going to be a move backwards to pay off the debt. No. That is the move forward.
And you know what? That does bring up a thing, too. This idea that the enemy of the best is not the worst.
Yeah.
The enemy of the best is okay, kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
If you can just sit in the ugly middle and be comfortable, you got no reason to bust into excellence. You got no reason to bust into the excellence.
And it's familiar. It makes me think of in Financial Peace University, which when I took this years ago, you talk about the credit cards like, oh, no, not this last one. I'm so attached to it. And there's an emotional attachment. We have these ideas in our head that even if they're not accurate mathematically at all about what it's going to do for us financially, we get attached. Oh, I've got to hang on to this savings even though I have all this debt and I'm paying all this interest because it makes me feel safe. That's not the reality.
Me going broke, I had an advantage. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you were forced.
I'm sitting there in the poop, and I got to get up out of this
Right.
because it wasn't comfortable.
Right.
But if you're sitting there and you kind of feel comfortable, it gives you this, that's where the enemy of the best is not the worst. I was at the worst, and I knew it, and I didn't want to be there anymore. I was motivated to get my butt out of there.
Right.
You know, but when everything's just kind of okay, and I got my little $10,000 and I got my little $88,000 and I'm okay, and that your brain just whines like that. Mine does it too on other things.
Yeah,
it's like, I'm not fat enough that I'm gonna die, so I don't do anything about my fat. You know what I mean? But if the doc came in and went, you're morbidly obese, you're about to die of a heart attack, fat man, then I would go do something about it.
Sure.
But my brain is like my level of fat. I'm kind of in the middle.
Doing okay.
Until I hit COVID, and then I just got big as a dadgum house, and I had to go. So I've lost 37 pounds. Y'all shut up, all right? But because I needed to, because I was turning the Michelin man. But it's the same thing, isn't it? It's any area of our life, if you can hit that mediocre middle, that's a danger zone.
You're comfortable.
It's a danger zone.
And it gives you the illusion that you're doing better than you are because you've got this security blanket. Whatever your security blanket is, it's like, oh, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. You don't have that motivation that you're talking about of like, things are bad. I have to change something. Your quote I love so much. You can wander into debt. You cannot wander out.
Yeah.
You got to get fired up if you're going to do something.
You got to get
change is hard.
on anything. If you're going to transform your life, it's going to involve the most painful of all emotions, and that's embracing change. Mm-hmm. Stepping face long into change. Mm-hmm. Intentionally. I'm going to step up. I'm going to bust into this thing. And I don't care if it's, your marriage is just kind of instead of having an awesome marriage. You got to go, something's got to give. I got to change something. It's like, man, I tell you, the kids, man, the kids are out of control when you go, that's it. That's it. My mama used to say, the worm has turned. I didn't even know what that meant, except the beatings were about to begin, But it turned out it was Shakespeare. Who knew Mom knew Shakespeare? But But, all that was she had reached the end of her rope,
Yeah.
The little grandbabies, the little girls, Denise's and Rachel's little girls were over at the house the other night, and they're jumping bed to bed to bed to bed, and I'm trying to get them in bed, and Sharon's got the boys in the other room putting them down, and I'm sitting in the rocking chair, and I'm just, girls, sit down. Girls, lay down. Girls, stop it. And they're just getting more and more wound up. And one of them says, Papa Dave's getting frustrated.
Yeah, it's coming.
Mama
can read your face.
She said, when Mama gets frustrated, it ain't good. So that means my daughter's doing a good job. I like that.
That's right.
So I said, girls, you're going to have to lay down. But I mean, the worm has turned. You have to have this moment in your life where you say, enough, I've had it. And sometimes being in the comfortable middle doesn't make you do that.
That's true.
And you have to manufacture that in your emotions and just decide. Thanks for joining us, America. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is The Ramsey Show, where we talk about everything having to do with your life. Back in the day, it was me getting you out of debt, which we still will help you do. But the whole purpose of that is for you to have a better life. Christy talks about having a better life by having more confidence and avoiding fear and having balance in your life, and speaks all over America to companies and churches, and writes a devotional that just came out that it was a best-selling book, which we didn't know devotionals could be bestsellers. It was something we learned something. That's good.
That's cool.
You proved it.
Well,
That's
it was
good.
the first one we get to put it out as a company, which was awesome. So we proved the idea.
Well, and I also, I didn't know there was like a devotional bestseller list, but there is. So I just learned something. But it's cool because you made it, and it's a great read, and 40 days
to get back to you. Yep, 40 days to get back to you.
You've gone through it a couple times with folks on Instagram. Are you going to do that again?
Well, I'm actually in the middle of it right now because, and this is interesting, I don't know if we've talked about this, Dave, but I chose the number 40 because it's a biblical number.
Sure.
And it's a great non-intimidating length of time for someone to go through. But one of the instances of 40 in the Bible was the 40 days that Jesus appeared to people after his resurrection. So starting
Which we're in that period following Easter.
That's what we're doing. So I started on Monday after Easter on day 1, and we're tracking. So today is day 15, I believe.
Okay.
Day 15, I think. Day 15 or 16. And so I'm walking through it right now, actually. So
yeah, it's amazing how quickly these Easter or Christmas gets in your rearview mirror. It was only 15 days ago.
I know. And then Mother's Day is coming up. So it's kind of nice in between Easter and Mother's Day to walk through this women's devotional that I've written. And it's been cool.
You're doing it on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, at Christy B. Wright.
B. Wright, yep. Just going live once a week and walking through, kind of having a discussion, and just seeking God. Because the whole premise was, can you imagine how people, after Jesus rose, how once the word had spread that he was appearing on the earth, how people were looking for him, right? They're like, I've heard he's walking around and appearing to people. They must have been really looking for him with a new level of intensity. And so that's the heart behind this, is let's look for God for the next 40 days together through this.
Pretty cool. All right, Carol is with us in Los Angeles. Hi, Carol. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Great. How can we help?
Okay, so I spent the past 10 years taking care of my mom, and she passed away last year, and I was wondering if I should sell her house and buy a condo in a neighboring state.
Wow. What an emotional thing. You've been in this home, and so you've been this angel of blessing to her for a decade of your life.
Yeah. I didn't work or anything. I took care of her.
And I take it you're single?
Yes, I am.
And what's the house worth?
The house is worth, I have to have it appraised because of probate, but right now the low end and what the neighborhood's going, it's like $850,000.
Yeah, okay. And you're the sole heir, I assume?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how are the rest of your finances? What are you going to do for a career now?
I don't know. I was thinking of maybe doing things I've kind of dreamed about working on since I was a kid, like writing, and then I got into coding when I was in college, and that was kind of my day job before I started taking care of my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I would do like some independent projects like making video games and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
My coding.
So when did she pass?
She passed away last April, actually.
So
It's
what
been
have
a
you
year.
been eating on for the last year? What are you using for money?
My best friend, she has been paying me to take care of her kids, to watch them because, you know, they have to stay home because of COVID.
So you've had
And
a
she
you've had a
doesn't go
nanny
work.
or a governess gig.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds to me like you're someone that's given your life away for a while, and it's time for you to live a part of this next section for you.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Christy?
Yeah, the thing that jumped out to me even in the question, and I don't, as far as the house, I don't know, but I think what you need right now, Carol, is just community around you, just some people to help you rediscover who you are and what you want to do in this new season. I would definitely love for you to stay on the phone. We can send you a copy of my devotional. That's what we talked about, 40 days to get back to you, to figure out who you are in this new season. And even I'd love to invite you to be a part of the academy where we can kind of put our arms around you as you discover maybe there is something you can do on your own. It's a side business or small business or freelance, whether it's coding or
Writing
something else, writing. Yeah, we can walk with you in this next new season, and I'd love to do that. So we can definitely give you those things to help you in this transition. But as far as the house, I mean,
I want to
I don't know.
simultaneously applaud you for how you've served your mom and now how you're serving this family. And at the same time, for doing that, I want to encourage you in this next season. You did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this next season, I don't want you to define yourself by how you've given yourself away.
Okay.
In the next season, I want you to do some things for Carol.
Mm-hmm.
It's your turn.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not selfish.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just that
right.
you put some of your dreams, desires, wishes on the shelf
Mm-hmm.
for other people. And I don't want you to, by default, sign up for another season of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's time for you. And your mom would want you to go on and do the next thing.
Yeah, because she did say that, like, towards, she was like, maybe it would be better if she wasn't here and I could.
Well, we don't want
and I
that.
told her I told her not to say
Yeah,
anything.
don't say that. That's not what we're talking about. But I mean, but we are saying that, you've had a year since her passing to grieve and to reset your mind. Yes, I'm selling this house, not necessarily because I'm selling the house, but because it represents the past.
That's good.
Yeah, I grew up in this house.
Yeah, it's all about the past.
Yeah.
And the past is in the past. It has passed. And so let's say, all right, let's pretend we're 18 years old and the world is a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
And we have $1 million. What could we do? Anything we wanted, right? I mean, there's nobody telling us what to do. There's nobody guiding us. We can do anything we want to do because that's exactly where you are, only you're not 18.
Yeah.
But
and that can be intimidating, but it can also be exciting.
It should be both.
Yeah.
This kind of a journey is exhilarating because it's parts of it are unknown.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm selling it. I'm moving. As I start to figure out what my next chapter is, I'll know where to buy. In the meantime, I might just put this money in the bank and I might go, I don't know, whatever it is you've always wanted to do. Backpack the Appalachian Trail.
Travel,
I don't know.
rent, travel, yeah.
I don't have any idea. But I mean, whatever it is your thing is, you got a pretty good number of things on the dusty shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Get them off and blow the dust off of them and sell the house. And let's get going. And I just want to encourage you to do that and encourage you to say that does not make you a bad person. You've been a saint. You've been an angel. And the proper way to continue to serve is to find your best self in this next phase. And that's not necessarily to give yourself away.
Yeah.
So hang on. We'll have Kelly pick up. We're going to send you a copy of Christy's devotional and going to give her Business Boutique Academy.
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll sign you up for both, and it's on open enrollment right now. And so we'll sign you up for both and get you going. And it's our gift to you to help you live this next phase.
Yep.
This next season for you. So, but again, this has nothing to do with the value of the house, the location of the house. It's not a financial decision. It's an emotional,
A fresh start
decision. Yeah,
yeah.
That's a good word. It's the whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what a cool situation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people would go, I have nothing binding me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have anything holding me back. She's not married. She doesn't have kids. She doesn't have a job that's weighing her down. She doesn't have, and she's got $1 million.
And that's where you go, what do you want to do? And that can be one of the hardest questions to answer. What do you want to do?
It's intimidating as crap.
Yeah. What do you want to do? You can do anything.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time for you to figure that out, I think.
Yeah. Go ahead and send her proximity principle by Ken Coleman, too. Let's see if we can. I want to interfere in her life here.
In the best way. In the best way.
In a Papa Dave kind of way. This is the Ramsey Show. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We're answering your questions about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. James is in Evansville, Indiana. Hi, James. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Pretty good.
Good. What's up?
I have a college planning question. My wife and I have 5 young daughters, ages 10 to 13 months, and we have 529 plans and are contributing the max for the tax incentive of $2,500. We're now in a point in our life where we could be applying more, but what does that look like for having 5 kids and here in about 8 years having one go off to college?
Yeah. Well, about 5 years. No, 8 years. Yeah, okay. All right. No, it's more like 13. Wait a minute.
10.
You got it. Yeah,
10 is
10
the
years.
oldest.
Oh, there it is. 10 years. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I wrote it. I couldn't try to look at these numbers. I wrote it down. I couldn't find them. All right. So, what it amounts to is you need to be putting in more for the 10-year-old than you do the 13-month-old. Because the 13-month-old's got a lot of time to grow in that account. And so, who have you got your 529s with? You got an advisor?
Yes, we have an advisor. We've got about 17,000 that it's grown
in
right
each?
Now for that 10-year-old. No.
For the 10-year-old. Okay. What I would do is sit down with the advisor and make sure that the money is invested in the 529 in good growth stock mutual funds that have a good track record first. If it is, then I would ask them to tell you, okay, in order for the 10-year-old in 8 years to have X number of dollars, what have we got to add to that account? In order for the next one to add, in so many years, what have we got to add to that account? And it might end up that you're putting, I'll just make up numbers, you might end up putting $3,000 or $4,000 in the 10-year-olds, and you might end up putting $500 in the 13-month-old. And they'll end up with the same amount.
Okay.
Because you got started later on the 10-year-old.
Yeah.
And so you didn't have as many years for the money to grow. So it's kind of like life. Equal is not fair.
Yeah, they've already been told that.
Yeah, equal's not fair. Fair is not equal. And so If you've got a special needs little brother, little sister, we're going to give more money and make sure that that child is taken care of. Equal is not fair. Fair is not equal. Fair is what you have at the county.
Is there a magic sauce for about what should be put in to be able to fully fund them?
Well, what you need to do is just determine what your goal is, your goal amount, and you say, okay, as an example, they're going to go to in-state schools. They're in Evansville, Indiana. They're going to go to the University of Indiana, okay, or Indiana University.
Okay.
All right, and you call them and go, what's it cost to go there, and what are your projections on your tuition 8 years from today? And they tell you it's going to take $150,000 to go there with room and board 8 years from now. And for 4 years, and I'm making up numbers. I don't know, okay? Today tuition is about $10,000 plus room and board per year for an in-state school average nationally. And so you're probably going to find somewhere around the $10,000 number per year, so that's $40,000 plus if they're going to stay in a dorm and eat. Okay, so I'm going to guess and say they can go for $100,000 8 years from now. That's maybe 125, but you can actually get the number from the university, bother them a little bit, or wherever you think you want them to go to school, and then you can back into the actual goal with your advisor. They can put it into a financial calculator and go, okay, in order to do that, you need to save $2,642 a month or $2,642 a year. They can tell you exactly what you need to do in order to get there. Once you have that goal and you have the time period, it's a financial calculation at that point. It's a math formula that goes into a financial calculator, and you can back into it. So, but you need a target, not just, so far your target has been, we want to save for college. And it was very vague. But if you really want to do it perfectly and you want to know when you're done, this is how we did it. Okay, what we did was we said I want $100,000 per kid. And I backed it out for a 4-year-old. And I said, in order to do that, today I need X in there. And I had made some money that year, and I just put X in there. And then I was done. That account was over. I never added to it again, never had to. I put enough in there that it was going to grow for the 4-year-old in 14 years to this much. So when Daniel Ramsey got ready to go to school, there was $100,000 in there for him, and it was ready to go. And we just picked out a number. But you need to, if you want to be really nerdy about it, and I do recommend that, if you know what your goal is, you can back into your numbers exactly.
I've got a question about the scholarship side of things, because I know with 529s, like it's specifically for school. If you save all this money and then your kids get a ton of scholarships, what do they do with that money?
100% of what they get in scholarships can be removed tax-free.
What now?
If you got $100,000 in there and you get $40,000 in scholarships, you can take $40,000 out and then no taxes on it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. You just have to prove that. You just have to prove the scholarships if you're audited is all.
I didn't know that.
So you can remove it, and you've had tax-free growth on your money in a 529.
Wow. That's cool.
It's wonderful. So
because it incentivizes the child to get scholarships and that type of thing, and
they got
do
money.
well.
It's free money.
Totally. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
cool.
they go buy a house with it when they get out of college.
I didn't realize
that's
That's
a pretty cool thing. You're setting up millionaire stuff here.
Yeah.
Setting your kid up to be a millionaire before they're 30. Because if they come out of school with $100,000 or $150,000 and no student loan debt, and they go get a job making 70 or whatever they're making these days, right, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, 22 years old and you're making that, and you got zero debt, and you already have a paid-for house. Ding ding.
Yeah.
You're a millionaire by the time you're 30.
Yeah.
And the number, it's just compound interest. It's just running the math out. And so what he's doing there, the way he's planning, he's thinking about it. He's got a little baby, 13 months, and this baby's going to go to college. But once you dial all that in, and then you see what the next layer of effect of that is, and the next layer of that effect, it gets rowdy.
Right.
And when we talk about you changed your family tree, you really did change your family tree. It's real.
Yeah.
It really happened. Taylor's in Denver. Hey, Taylor, how can we help?
Hey, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I have a dilemma. I'm currently in Denver, Colorado, and I'm working at a great job. I make about $90,000 a year. It's a contract position, and they told me already that they'd like to extend it at the beginning of the new year for another year. But my last job has now invited me to come back and join them for a substantial raise. They'd like to offer me $160,000 to move to Orlando, Florida, and work there for 8 months till the end of the year, and then the position will be over with. My question is, should I stay in Colorado, knowing that I have a good paying job and it'll last a good long while, or should I go to Florida for the additional money, which is roughly about 3 times my take-home pay each month here in Colorado?
Well, no, it's not 3 times. 90 times 3 is not 160. What do you do for a living?
So, yeah, with my it's about $9,000 take-home pay for the job in Orlando, Florida, and about $5,300 take-home pay for the job in Denver.
Okay, that's not even double. It's not 5 times as much.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you tell me you don't do math for a living. Okay, what do you do?
I don't do math for a living. I do construction, thank God.
Okay. What kind of construction are you doing?
I do 5G fiber optic construction.
Good for you. Okay, I get it. And so, how old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
What do you want to be doing when you're 34?
I want to be running my own telecommunications business.
Which one of these two decisions takes you there best?
I think they both take me there.
Which one takes you there best?
The kind of job that I'm at.
Nah. Because your business is so, you are contract to contract to contract anyway. You guys jump from job to job anyway in your world, don't you?
Yes, sir.
All right, jump job to job and take the money. Unless you just don't like Orlando. It's an adventure, dude. You're 24, go make some money. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you're young. Do it while you can.
This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Matthew starts off this hour in Indianapolis. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm doing well, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I'm 22 years old. I make about $80,000 a year before bonuses. I have $20,000 in cash, and then about $50,000 I have in ETFs and mutuals. I'm getting ready to buy my first house. Right now, I know the housing market is crazy. My main question is what my plan to do is take $25,000 out from my investment account, put that towards a down payment, do a 15-year mortgage on a $225,000 house. Is that a smart thing to do? I could take out more, but I still want to keep that emergency fund. But the area I'm in is projected about 10% increase in home values in the next year.
Dude, you're a stud. You're 22 and you're making 80?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a systems engineer.
Good for you, man. You're killing it. And you're single.
Correct.
Are you dating someone seriously?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay. All right.
The other question I do have is I have a guaranteed at least $10,000 bonus next year, and then more than likely another additional 10 to 15 on top of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I should be slightly over 100,000 for next year and following years as well.
Phenomenal. Okay. So I would just adjust your plan slightly because I know from the data that we have, having studied 10,167 millionaires, that the typical millionaire has two primary components to their first $1 million to $5 million net worth. And you should be there by the time you're 30 with the track you're on. Okay? And if you want to get there the shortest way, here's what the data tells us. A paid-for house and loading up the 401k.
Correct. I do max out my 401k. Company
Good.
Matches 5%. I put 5% in and then invest the rest into ETFs and mutuals.
Good. So what that tells me is the paid-for house is the next thing on the equation. Agreed?
Agreed.
Which means I'm keeping only the emergency fund. I'm dumping the entire ETF onto this thing as my down payment to thereby have less debt to reduce. And then I'm going to throw bonuses and money I would have been throwing into ETFs above the fully funded 401k at this mortgage. Dude, your house is paid for by the time you're 25, 26 years old.
Got it.
And you're rolling into a house at that point that's probably worth $500. And, and let's just go ahead and run the math out on your 401k to, for what, 8 years. And I think you're a millionaire.
Got it.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm doing this in my head pretty quick, but I think I'm pretty close. But and here's the thing. The other thing that's going to happen is you statistically are very likely during this 8-year period of time to meet and marry the love of your life, at which point you will discover you have bought the wrong house.
Right.
New plan, new house.
And so that will adjust our little plan, upset the apple cart, but that's okay. It's worth the cost, brother. You're still going to get there because you got a plan. But here's the thing. The two data points are full 401k paid for house. And if you're always aiming back at those at the earliest possible age, you're going to build the greatest possible amount of wealth.
Awesome.
That's for your first $5 million worth of wealth. And that's what we call them everyday millionaires or baby step millionaires because they followed the baby steps. And I've met 3 out here in the lobby today that followed the baby steps over the last decade to 15 years and been listening to this show. One guy said he'd been listening to the show 20 years.
Yeah.
And he started doing this stuff. And he just, got out of debt, which gave him the ability to invest and pay off his home.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about changing your family tree. It's a compounding effect, not just financially, mathematically. It's a compounding effect in the decision making. You make different decisions 2 and 3 and 4 steps later because of those first decisions. So I love to see how that can have a ripple effect for the rest of your life.
And I'm starting to do some writing on this millionaire stuff because I'm starting to see some nuances with our baby step millionaire community. And that's what I'm calling it for right now. I may change the name of it, but I mean, that's I'm starting to, and one thing I've noticed is that the millionaire, that sometimes what keeps people off the track from being a millionaire is they want to try to be a billionaire. And billionaires are, a billion is 1,000 million. And in the Forbes 400, I got to look it up fresh. It's been a year since I've looked it up. I need to look it up again. But in the Forbes 400, it was that almost all the Forbes 400 are billionaires now. The 400 wealthiest people in America. It used to be 3/4 of them were, but I think they just about all are now. And like 70% of them are first-generation billionaires.
Wow.
But the way you become a billionaire is different.
Okay, explain that.
Than the way you become a millionaire. Because the typical millionaire, the 1 to 5 million, first thing that happens to billionaires is obviously first they become a millionaire.
Right.
Before they become billionaires.
Right.
Right. But the difference from jumping from 5 million to 1,000 million is a big jump.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get that first 5 million the way we're talking about here, walking the baby steps. That's a baby step millionaire. But but billionaires didn't use their 401k and their paid for house to become a billionaire.
Right.
In almost every case, they started a business and took it public or didn't. But they the business somehow there was a business leverage angle.
Okay.
To where, Oprah owns this massive media empire. And that's what made her a billionaire. It wasn't getting paid to do the Oprah show.
Right.
She used her entrepreneurial skills behind the scenes to build, and she's a billionaire. Or the Cathy family, Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Truett Cathy passed away, but he was a billionaire, and the kids are. But that's the value of Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
That gives them that, the business value. The Hobby Lobby family, the Green family. Again, it was the value of that. It wasn't working a job and loading money in the 401k that got them there. So they worked the job and load the 401k, and along the way they became millionaires, but then the way they make that huge leapfrog. But the difference, but people have in their mind when they say wealthy, what billionaires do. You know, private jets,
right?
Expensive cars, 6 houses. Millionaires don't have any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Millionaires don't have private jets and expensive cars and 4 houses.
Yeah.
They don't. Billionaires do.
Right.
But if you try to jump from where you are to billionaire, you make a lot of mistakes on get rich quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're skipping. You got to do the tortoise first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And win the race to get in that 1 to 5, and then that positions you to do some of these other things.
Yeah.
And you can go big from there.
It's interesting.
But you know, but if you think of wealthy as a billionaire, then it's unattainable, number one.
Right.
Number two, you start doing stupid stuff to try to get there before you do the basics.
Yeah.
So do the baby step millionaire first, then start thinking about billionaire level stuff.
Yeah.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our famous $10 sale is back, including her book, #1 bestseller, Business Boutique, Equipping Women to Make Money Doing What They Love. We've had over 40 best-selling books here at Ramsey, including a few of mine, and that includes the Total Money Makeover, and they're $10 each. Now, this is a hardback book. This is 60% off. You can't get this kind of deal anywhere else. You want to get the Total Money Makeover for $10? A guy here bought a case a while ago.
Yeah, I saw that. You
so,
signed them all.
I mean, yeah, $10 a piece. My gosh, I mean, think about that. That's a nice, high-quality, nice gift to give a friend.
Mm-hmm.
So give them Christy's book, Rachel's books, Anthony's books, Ken Coleman, Deloney's quick read is out there for $10 on anxiety. It's all there, and you can get it all at RamseySolutions.com in our online store. And that's not all. We got a gift for you as well if you enter to win our Ramsey Cash giveaway. We're giving away $500 cash every week and a grand prize of $5,000 cash. And you can enter up to once a day for extra chances to win. So make sure you go to RamseySolutions.com/giveaway and enter once a day. There's no purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older. Or you can text CASH to 33789. Text CASH to 33789 to enter our giveaway now. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life, your money. It is a free call. Thanks for joining us. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code RAMSEY to get the best possible deal. Rules and restrictions apply.
Today's question comes from Amanda in Colorado. She writes, I make $100,000 a year and I'm on baby step 2 with $55,000 in debt. I want to switch careers and become a financial coach. My plan was to keep my current job until I'm debt free, but I've been offered a position working 15 hours a week and earning $40,000 a year. It would be an excellent financial base while building my coaching business. Should I wait until I'm out of baby step 2 or make this change now? I'm curious your thoughts on this one. Because you're in baby step 2, you got $55,000 of debt, making $100,000 a year, which is awesome. That's a good shovel to get to knock that out.
Mm-hmm.
But wants to start a financial coaching business.
Well, even if she didn't have the debt, Let's just pretend she didn't have the debt.
Okay.
She makes $100,000 a year, and she wants to drop to 40 with zero on the side hustle right now.
Yeah.
What would you tell her on that?
I would say no. I mean,
You'd tell her get the side hustle up.
Yeah, get the
boat, get the boat closer to the dock.
Yeah. Build it up on the side. The thing is that I think is interesting that it sounds like is appealing to her is the limited amount of hours, but what we see people do more often than not that makes them successful is they work in the nights and the weekends, they work on the side. And even though it feels like for a season you're working a full-time job because 2 full-time jobs because you are, it's the safer route to get to where you want to be, where you're doing that thing full-time. And the finances are there to support you. It's not a wish and a prayer and a hope that the money's going to be there when you make the jump.
It puts a different let me tell you, nothing smells as bad as a broke salesman.
Yeah, they feel that desperation.
Except a financial counselor that's broke, financial coach that's broke.
Yeah.
And that's probably oxymoronic almost.
Yeah.
So, what you want to do is start your financial coaching business as a side hustle, get it growing, and let's get some income coming in. Now, if you told me you were making 30 or 40 on your side hustle financial coaching business and you wanted to drop to 40, now we've got a total of 80 and we're dropping from 100 down to 80, hoping we can make up the other 20. That boat's close enough to the dock, you're not going to get wet. But there's the boat. You can't even see the boat now.
Yeah.
Because it's zero.
Yeah.
It's out there in the fog somewhere, and you're just going to jump in and start swimming, hope you find it.
Right.
You know, that you're going to drown.
Well, it's interesting because she said it would be an excellent financial base while building my coaching business. A better financial base is $100,000 a year while building your coaching business.
Here you go, even better, $140,000 a year.
Yeah.
And you're debt-free.
Yeah.
Because you made 40 on your coaching business, and then it's a no-brainer to quit.
Right.
You're debt-free. You're making 80 when you quit with the 40 and the 40.
Right.
I'm making that number up, but it could be 45.
Sure.
I mean, but you need to have, and it's not 10.
Yeah.
You don't want, if you're making 40 on your side, on your little part-time thing, and you do make 10, that's 50. You cut your income in half.
Yeah.
The boat's not close enough to the dock. Anytime you're going to jump, unless you get fired from an income to a self-employed income, go ahead and get the side hustle up. Because I'm telling you, make different decisions when you're not broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're running a business and you're broke and you have to make money by Friday to eat, it changes your decision-making paradigm and it damages it.
It sucks the joy out of it, too. The fun for why you started it, it takes the fun out of it. And to your point, the customers feel it because you're desperate. They feel that. But you don't have to. You can still start your side financial coaching business. You don't have to have just this job. You just find the hours in different times to be able to do that. Build it up on the side.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Dalton is in Oklahoma City. Hi, Dalton. How are you?
I'm good. It's awesome to talk to you, Mr. Ramsey.
You too, sir. What's up?
So I got a question. I'm in baby step 2. I've got some student loan debt and then truck debt. I actually just listed my truck last night. I'm going to end up selling it, and I just want to know what kind of car I need to be looking for after I can sell it and what price range.
How much student loan debt?
On it. 46.
What do you owe on your truck?
24, and I Kelly Blue booked it for between $32,000 and $35,000.
Wow. So you put it on the market for how much?
34.
Nice truck.
And yeah, it's a bad purchase, but
it's a sweet truck. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Nice, but I want to get rid of it and
how old are you?
That student loan as quick as possible. 27.
And what do you make? Did you say?
86.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. All right. And how much student loan debt again?
46,000.
Okay, you told me this, but I'm trying to wrap my brain around all these different numbers. Okay, so if you sell the truck for $30,000 and you got $6,000 in your pocket and you bought a $6,000 car, you'd have no car payments and you'd be only attacking your student loan debt, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, your budget ought to be what cash you get in your hand from the truck sale, net of your debt. So you pay cash for a little get around car. And, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or whatever it is you end up with, right? Or a little bit less. But, I mean, really, if you buy a $1,000 car and put $4,000 towards the debt, that doesn't fix anything. You're 86 now without the truck payments. What fixes it? You're shedding yourself of a $600 truck payment, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. That was kind of my question. If I could sell it for like the 32 or 33, and if I could make 8 or 9 off of that.
That's fine. Anywhere in there. Because here's the thing. Okay, let's say you buy a $6,000 truck and you put $3,000 towards it, or you buy a $9,000 truck and you don't put anything towards it. You haven't changed your student loan equation that much. What changed the equation was getting rid of the truck. What changed the equation was you make $86,000 and you are now game on. You are a man with a plan. That's what's changing the equation. You're the secret sauce. So the amount that you use from the truck to put towards the student loans is not what's going to fix this. It's getting rid of the truck that fixes it, and the fact that you're freaking paying attention now and don't have any truck payments.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Mathematically, that's the case.
Yep. That was kind of my thinking was.
Yeah. So whatever you want to, whatever you make on the truck, you can spend up to that on a car, but not a dime more.
Gotcha.
Or less. You could spend $2,000 less. It wouldn't be a bad exercise. As a matter of self-discipline. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to be 100% debt-free in about a year. Okay?
Yes.
And then you're going to be saving up for your emergency fund, and then you're going to save up to move up in truck. Because you should.
Yep.
You don't need to be driving a $6,000 truck making $80,000, $90,000, and no debt. You probably can move up in truck then and pay cash. So you're going to move back up later. So this is a temporary move. It's probably a 2 to 3 year move is all. So you're fine. Really good job, dude. Good job. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mitchell is up next in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hi, Mitchell. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Well, I'm in a bit of a predicament. I brought it upon myself, of course, but let me tell you about myself. I'm 27 years old. In 2014, I got an associate's degree, and in 2 weeks, I'll have a bachelor's of architecture.
Good for you.
I also have a private. Oh, thank you. I have a private pilot's license with 100 hours and $45,000 in student loans, about $15,000 cash on hand, $25,000 in an IRA, and I pay about $600 per month in rent. So I'm considering switching careers to aviation because I'm finding I'm just not very happy in architecture. It's going to take a lot of money to switch and time, and I'm just not really sure if it's the smartest thing, but I think maybe I should choose happiness over money. What do you think?
Well, I don't think they're exclusive from each other. That's the dangerous assumption, that somehow happiness has to be associated with being broke. Happiness has to be associated with not making money. Okay, so I'm going to choose option C, none of the above. Let's find a way to live a great life and make a lot of money doing it, and that'll make you happy. Money won't make you happy, but I often hear people say things like, "Well, I'm going to go to work for this thing that has meaning in my life," but they don't pay anything. And I'm like, well, I got a lot of meaning in my life, and I make a lot of money, so because I help a lot of people. So they're not mutually exclusive. You can do both. As a matter of fact, there should be a tie in a capitalistic economy to serving an income. And so I think you pan back a little bit more and say, okay, what are the steps to get you where you want to be when you're 34 years old or 37 years old? A decade from today, what have you got to do to get where you want to go, and what's the shortest path to get where you want to go? And if you're going to be an architect and you're going to be miserable, well, that option's off the table.
I'm curious, why are you miserable? Like, what got you into it that was true, that you loved it or wanted to do it, and what has changed that you no longer love it? What's going on?
Well, I guess I thought it was a logical continuation for my studies, and I thought like it was a strong suit for me. You know, I was just playing with my strengths and decided that was a good field. But maybe perhaps my interactions with other people is the most important thing as to why I'm choosing another field. I don't even really have work experience. I'm mostly going off of my educational experiences.
Your interactions with other people turned you off on architecture. What does that mean?
I don't know. It's just a very egotistical field, maybe.
Not
It doesn't
really.
have to be. You could decide that it's not.
Not
I mean,
really.
you don't have to be that.
I work with architects every week, and I don't deal with any of them that have ego problems. I wouldn't put up with them having an ego problem. But I mean, I'm building 2 buildings right now. We're working with an architectural firm, and there's 5 different architects involved in that. And they're all just really nice people.
So let me ask you this, Mitchell, if you take the people out of it and your ideas about
Is
people
your
for just
professor's a jerk? Is that what you meant?
I mean,
I got him. Okay.
All right. Okay, great. The actual act of architecture, what you do, okay, what you have learned to do in school and what you would be doing hypothetically. Do you like doing that type of work?
I don't think I do anymore.
Okay.
I think I'd rather fly a plane.
Well, yeah, it's addicting. The problem with aviation is it's a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Ask any pilot. I've been told 1,000 times, don't get your pilot's license, Ramsey, because you're going to get sucked in. It's like golf. I mean, you're going to get sucked into the vortex and you can't get out. So yeah, I mean, it's the pilots just live to land and take off. I mean, it's just like a thing. And so I don't doubt that. I'm okay if you want to go be a pilot. I'm not okay if you want to go in $100,000 in debt to do that, and I'm not okay if you say that means I'm going to be broke when I'm 37 and call that happy. That's just not true. Okay, so you need a different track on your pilot career that causes you to not be broke as a pilot. Pilots can make good money and do make good money. I mean, private jet pilots, as an example, they make $100,500 on average. And that, a lot of architects don't make that. So you can get there, but, it's just a matter of what the hours logging and the, the lessons, and you're licensed now, but I assume you're licensed on turboprop, right?
Oh, no, I just have a very basic PPL.
Yeah. Okay. And so you got a lot of work to do to make any money because nobody pays anybody to fly what you're licensed to fly, right?
Yeah, it'll take at least 2 years, probably $50,000.
Yeah. Okay, here's what I would tell you to do. I think, Christy, that we heard. I don't agree with the conclusion you came to. I think you had a jerk professor or two, and it made your life miserable. And so every time you picked up opened up the CAD drawing to work on this thing, you hated architecture because the jerk that you were dealing with, or 2 or 3 jerks you were dealing with, or the way some of the students acted, or whatever. And Christy challenged you on actually doing the work. I think because there's correlations between pilot work, the amount of technical detail that you have to do, and the amount of technical detail. You're a technical detail guy, because both of these things have that.
Yes.
Okay.
And you said it's a strength of yours.
And it is a
if
strength.
You're in your strengths, you
I
like
think
what you're
there's
doing.
a way you can make a living doing architecture while you do your pilot work. I don't think you have to abandon architecture and go live on poverty while you do your pilot work. I think you go ahead and get your architecture's license, get a job being an architect, and then work on your hours on the weekends, work on your hours at night. You're going to have to pay to do this. It's going to take a while. And you take that 2 years that you're talking about, and you got to fund it.
Right.
And the way to fund it is be an architect.
Well, and it just...
In a situation where you're not dealing with jerks.
Yes, it reframes architecture for you, gives you an opportunity to have a good experience in architecture and actually see what that could be like. Maybe you do like it, you rediscover. It also helps you resist the urge to just be scattered and change your mind every 2 years. I just don't want you changing your mind every 2 years. Like, stick with this. Let's give it a chance. And then if you want to keep doing the pilot thing on the side, that's great. And you can switch gears when you can pay for it and you've got a little bit of money. But I just got this sense that it's like, well, I don't like this anymore. I want to do this. Or I don't like this anymore. I want to do that. No, if we're going to make progress, we need to stick with something. So give this a chance. Let's wipe a clean slate from the bad professor. Give it a chance. Make some money. And then, like you said, you can continue to explore the pilot thing on the side as well and move towards that if you want to.
If I had this friend that was married to a guy who was an absolute twerp, and he was a jerk. I mean, he mistreated her in every possible way. And, slept around all over the place, had affairs, all this stuff. And finally she had wised up and dumped the jerk, right? Because he was a nightmare. And she went through this period of time where all men are evil.
Right, yeah. That's that wound, that trauma speaking. Yeah, I'm going to protect myself.
And it's like, but all men aren't evil.
Right.
Just because he was a jerk.
Right.
And so it's the same exact thing. You got traumatized by this process, and it's not that marriage is bad, and it's not that men are bad. You just had a bad one.
Right.
It's not that architecture is bad. You just had a bad one.
Right. Right.
And so, I think you need to give this a chance. I'm not saying when you're 37 you won't be a pilot. I'm saying that's okay to be a pilot, to have that as the goal. But let's use a different path to get there that involves architecture, giving it a second chance.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If then you walk away from the architecture after having done it 4 or 5 years, you'll never look back. You'll never regret it. If you do all this work and then you never go do it, you may have some regrets.
Yeah.
You may have,
that's a good point.
Man, I may have missed that.
That's a good point.
So I want you to give her a little run here. Won't kill you. And you're not going to, you got to do something because you got to fund this pilot's thing. So that's a good way to do it. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Isaiah 6:8. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send? And who will go for us? And I said, here I am. Send me. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, don't go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Christy Wright, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Bob's in Sacramento. Hey, Bob, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there. Scenario is I've done everything wrong according to you, Dave.
Thank you for your honesty, Bob.
I'm sorry.
My wife and I have a mortgage on our home of about $550,000. We also lost the home in August to the wildfires.
Oh no! I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
We had just refinanced from a 3.5 to a 2.75 in May. I got another call from the mortgage company in November and said, would you like to lower that to 2.25? And I said, can you finance air? And they said yes. So I took the 2.25 loan. I have enough capital that I could pay off the loan. The only problem is the price of Tubifors has doubled, and with the insurance settlement, I don't know how much home I can build if I pay off the loan. So I need your wise advice.
So what will they give you for the burned house?
As much as $902,000.
Okay, and what is the lot worth?
$400,000.
Okay. All right. Do you get the lot? Oh, okay. You get 902 from the mortgage company. You pay off 550, and you get the lot.
That's with the 902 is the absolute max with everything.
Yeah, furnishings and everything.
No, that's just
the house
structure.
Okay.
But that would be all the extra add-ons that the state of California has added, such as sprinklers, solar, and an electric vehicle charging station, and any cost overruns above the policy.
Okay, so will they write you a check for, can you talk them up, or you and your attorney get them to give you a check for $900,000, you pay off the mortgage out of that?
I'm afraid not. I have the cash on hand that I could pay it.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm trying to figure out how much money you can get out of this freaking insurance company and walk away.
Probably, I'm not sure.
Let's make up another number, okay? I'm going to call it 800.
Okay.
Okay, for example purposes. You got to pay off a $550,000 mortgage, and so that leaves you $250,000. And you have a $400,000 lot that you sell for $400,000. Scrape it and sell it. Okay? Now you've got $650,000 in your pocket, plus the money that you already told me you had to pay off the house with. You've got other capital, right?
Correct, yes.
And that amounts to how much?
Approximately $400,000.
Okay. So now you got $1 million to buy a house with. And I would buy a used house. I wouldn't try to build right now. Building is
my wife and I are still debating about the politics of California. We'd like to find someplace a little more sane.
Yeah. Well, $1 million will buy a lot more other places than Sacramento. Sacramento's a wonderful town. I like Sacramento, but it is an expensive real estate market.
Yes.
And if you move, it's not Orange County, Silicon Valley expensive, but it's expensive. And so it is California expensive, So, I mean, if you said we wanted to move to XY state, now $1 million is going to buy a lot more, and this is your escape route. You don't rebuild here.
Have you got any wise words that I could use to convince my better half?
About leaving California or about rebuilding?
Both.
Number one, rebuilding's not going to make sense because it's the worst possible time to buy 2x4s and steel and copper and plywood. There's a shortage on all of it right now, and it's all doubled and in some cases tripled. And so you're going to have trouble. You're going to have a lot of trouble putting back a house even the size that you had before. You're going to come out hundreds of thousands of dollars ahead not building.
Okay.
Because of the building cost right now.
Yes.
It's if you want to build a house, it's okay right now. But this is, but if you can avoid building one right now, I would wait a year or maybe two if you really, really, really want to build. And there's nothing tying you to this lot. Scrape it and sell it. Okay, now you got $1 million piled up, and then you can buy in Sacramento or you can leave California. That's a separate decision than whether to build on this lot.
Yes.
Two different decisions. You can make both of them. You can make a decision to leave California or stay in California. But I'm scraping this lot and selling it for $400,000 or $500,000. Somebody will probably buy it because there's a shortage, and you may get a great price on a silly thing, and here's the thing. Other thing that's going through my head, and I need to say it out loud. One of the top 10 things that'll put you in the hospital is losing a home to a fire. It is highly emotional. It's like a death.
Yes.
I mean,
I've gone through the stages, Dave.
Yeah, you go through the grieving stages as if and so it's, bankruptcy, divorce, house fire, loss of a child. These are the top 10 things. You get 2 or 3 of them in 1 year, you're in the hospital. I mean, it'll take you out. It's highly traumatic. And what I'm trying to do also is give your emotions some margin. Building a house is freaking traumatic.
Yes.
Let's not add trauma on trauma, Building a house is for people that are in a real healthy situation and really excited about doing it and want to do it. You're building out of necessity or some kind of a grasping thing going on here, and it's you know, if your marriage isn't going well and you want a divorce, build a house. You know, that's the old, you know, that's the truth, because it's like, you know, some people are so dumb, they're like, our marriage isn't going good, let's have kids, maybe that'll fix it, you know. That's a dumb butt idea, you know. They do that.
That'll break you real fast.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll end everything. So I think I'm just trying to love you and say, man, if I were you, I'd want to curl up somewhere in a Snuggie and just get warm. You know, you've been out in the cold. It's you're raw, you know, and I want to, if I was you, that's what I'd want to do.
May I throw something else into the mix?
Quickly.
My wife and I are here in Maryland taking care of her father, who's in stage 4 kidney failure, currently 3% kidney function.
Oh, my gosh.
So, you know, the line, God only gives you as much as you can handle. My line is, he has us confused with someone else.
He took you right up to the line anyway. Yeah. So, you know, it might be that you don't need to make this decision right now.
Well, trust me, the insurance company and the mortgage company are hounding us. Have you done your repairs yet?
Yeah.
And
okay. Well, go ahead and turn it back on them and go, just write us a check and we'll call it a day.
So,
yeah.
Well, they have written the one check and the mortgage company has it. But
the mortgage company's paid off?
Well, they are holding the money in trust.
Oh, okay. Well, tell the insurance company that you want to just settle. And if you don't have an attorney, you may need one, because you may need a buffer between you and these characters right now. They're settling a whole bunch of claims over there, and I don't want you to get stuck.
Yeah.
So you may need some representation, especially while you're dealing with your father-in-law's illness. You're in a point of weakness there to negotiate. So yeah, you do have yourself full, Bob. I'm sorry. Wow. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.